AskReddit by Thelexis Cowdle 1. What is the greatest unsolved mystery of all time? As an Australian, what happened to the Beaumont children? Yes, as an Australian from Adelaide, living so close to Glenelg Beach where they were supposedly sighted on the day they went missing, this intrigues me too. A few years back they dug up an old factory literally around the corner from where I was living. There was a huge expectation that they would be found there, but, sadly, no. For me, it's the fact that a big company like Reddit has the shittiest video player to ever play video. Obviously you weren't around for Real Player from the late 90s. Just typing its name gives me rage. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist. I watched a drunk history and my favorite theory is that some guy in Southie just has those paintings tacked on his wall. Check out the Netflix documentary This Is a Robbery if you want to learn even more crazy. What is consciousness? Can't believe how strange it is to be anything at all. In the aeroplane over the sea Neutral Milk Hotel. The whereabouts of Shelley Miscavige. Absolutely would love to know. My guess is she's been dead 4 years for trying to leave his crazy ass. How did existence begin? In the beginning the universe was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move. What is dark matter? Feels like an incorrect hypothesis. The location of Genghis Khan's burial. I would say Alexander's burial location is a bigger mystery. Genghis Khan was born and rose to power on the almost unfathomably vast Eurasian steppe, and no doubt was buried somewhere on it in a mound whose location only the highest ranking Mongols knew. Alexander, on the other hand, ruled a highly urbanized empire and died where the oldest cities in the world were, surrounded by literate people who loved and admired him, yet today we don't know his final resting place. Seen the ones I would have said, so here's another. Zodiac Killer. They had some pretty good suspects for Zodiac. But give the time period, it isn't surprising that he wasn't caught. Especially once potential copycats started fucking around. He probably went to prison for an unrelated crime and died there, or just got old and sick. The Golden State Killer shows that these guys can and do retire. BTK was another one who might have gotten away with it if he didn't decide to stir up shit with his letter to the press. Doesn't mean they don't remain assholes, but an asshole doesn't immediately mean serial killer, and most their loved ones will say it fits in retrospect but didn't at the time. Green River Killer's wife refused to believe it until they mentioned the DNA match. Zodiac could have lived a whole life with no one suspecting him. How do 2 socks go in the dryer and only one comes out? That's what lint is made of, socks. Voynich manuscript for me. As an anthropologist with a passion for linguistics, it is baffling that we don't really know what it is. Isn't there a lot of speculation that it was sort of just made up? By the guy Voynich got it from? I thought it was either that, or a cipher in some older language we know but we can't break. Jack the Ripper. He was abducted by villains and pressed into service as an inquisitor to pay for his sins. Or he was an energy being that feeds on anger. Depends on which C-fee you prefer. D. B. Cooper. I don't get this one. I mean, he literally created a website for reviewing movies, imdb.com, https://imdb.com imdb.com. Harold Holt disappearance. Australian Prime Minister went for a swim and vanished without a trace. Such a notable event that a swimming pool was named after him. Drowned in strong current, then body eaten by scavenging fish and sharks. Not a mystery. What's on those hard drives that were hidden in that person's ceiling? How, and I mean this with all due respect, how does a person who believes the earth is flat actually find a person willing to produce children with them? It's easy to tell someone they're your whole world when it's flat. Less room to consider. What happened 5000 years ago that pretty much ended the Mediterranean civilizations in the East? There is like 1,000 years of missing written history. Who killed John Bennett Ramsey? All I know for sure is nobody was in that house Christmas night but the 4 people who lived there. One of them killed her, the parents covered it up, and the mother absolutely wrote the ransom note. I support the theory that the parents intended to get her body out of the house using a large suitcase, as the note instructed, and stage a successful kidnapping. It was harebrained but they were tired and desperate. The reason the ransom amount was John's bonus was because that's what they knew they had available for withdrawal in their bank account without having to access other assets. The reason the instructions told John to be sure to take a nap first was because they were exhausted after a long holiday full of celebration and a sleepless night and knew what the next day held. They were desperate for some rest. No kidnapper in the history of kidnappers instructs people to nap first before delivering their money. Why do people think it is okay to microwave fish in the break room? Now we're asking the real questions. Where is Jimmy Hoffa? At this point it will be hard to find concrete evidence. Where was Gonda when the Westfold fell? Not to be a Gonda apologist here, but they were busy with Mordor, pirates, and Herodrim. Boromir wasn't salty for nothing. Who is the largest commercial purchaser of glitter? Deleted. Malaysia Airlines. Ocean Big. Why I read Reddit every day? Cause dopamine hits. But why male models? Are you serious? I just explained it.